Like, just
Is
the
there
story.
different endings?
No, same ending every time.
Damn.
Like, so you start out in, uh, hold on. You start out in Narsh, and then you have to go to Figaro Castle. Well, actually, you start out
Oh
in
my
Narsh.
god.
You go into the mines. So
Oh
you go into the
god.
mines. You find an Esper, and then the Esper. Okay, so you go into the mart. Then you go into
Mhm.
Narsh, and you are in a suit of armor, right? And you have a
Yeah.
slave crown on, and they say this right in the beginning of the game, in the intro. So they are establishing that the character you're playing as is currently a slave, and working for the Empire. And so
Uh huh.
after they go through and into the mines, and they defeat the guards of Narsh. So they find the Esper, but the Esper blasts away the armor sets of the two other soldiers with Terra. But Terra is the last one remaining. And, Terra
Mhm.
is knocked unconscious, so Locke actually brings Terra into a house which has a man in it which helps her. And he removes her slave crown, and she lost her memories. She lost a lot of her memories.
Uh
And
huh.
at this point in the game, you get to name your first party member, which is, her canon name is Terra, but you can really name her anything you want. It doesn't really matter. And so after you name her, her and Locke, they go out to Figaro Castle. And at Figaro Castle, they meet Edgar. And Edgar establishes, like the whole
Oh yeah, Edgar. You like
the
Edgar,
return.
right?
Yeah, I love Edgar. And Edgar, he
The chainsaw guy.
establishes the returners, which is basically like the rebels of the Empire, the rebels in the Empire and stuff. And he also establishes that there is his long lost brother, Sabin. And Sabin is not at the castle. He is later in the game. And so, after all that, and you go to sleep, you see Kefka. Kefka comes up to the castle, and after talking with Edgar a little bit, Kefka sets the castle on fire, and then Edgar, Locke, and
What the
Terra
fuck?
they escape the castle. Now, the castle actually goes underground. The castle has the ability to travel through deserts and through sand. So it goes. So Figaro Castle, it goes. So you see the upper left, like the middle of the upper left of the map. So that
Yeah.
the big white section, that is where Figaro Castle is in the start, and then it ends up right where the cursor is right now. So it travels from there to there. So after the castle goes underground, Terra, Locke, and Edgar, they find the Returner's Cave, and once they enter it, they um
Before gore.
no. So after Figaro Castle, they go into a cave, right? But not the Returner's Cave.
Uh huh.
That's different. So after the Returner's Cave, they no, not the Returner's Cave. The other cave, like the first cave
Wait, is
after
the
the castle.
returners like
They're
a
like
gang?
they're
Like
rebels. They're rebels against the Empire. So it's a bit like Star Wars.
so? Oh wait, are we on their team?
No. Wait, yes. We are on the returner side. The returner side up. But after
Oh, I see.
Figaro's castle, you go through a cave, through a mountain, and then you end up at Duncan's cabin. And at Duncan's cabin, you find like old tea and whatnot. So there was a guy living here, right? And he is Sabin's master. So you go up into a mountain, which is Mount Colts. And so after traveling through all there, you see a man. And when you talk to him, you think like, oh yeah, that's Sabin. No, it's not. It's the man Sabin trained with. And that's one of the first boss battles. But not the first. The first one was in Narsh. So after
I
that,
see.
Sabin actually comes in to rescue you at that point in the game. Like to help you defeat that boss. And then, you know, at that point you can
See?
name Sabin and whatnot. But yeah, so Sabin reunites with Edgar, his brother. And, you know, after that point, then they go into the Returner's hideout. You know, all that. And actually, a little bit after that, Terra needs to decide if she's going to be on the Returners or not. So she has to make a decision here. And it doesn't matter if you say no, because then you'll just not be able to progress in the game. But if you say yes, then you all will go onto a raft. And, you know, on the raft, and, you know, like that's like a whole different thing. But the Returners actually get attacked by the Empire, and a few of them actually die. So, you know, they're escaping at that point while they are on the raft. And
Is the main enemy the Empire?
yes. Okay, so this is maybe like, I don't know, 5% into the game. So after that, so, you know, you're on the raft, and then you encounter a octopus, and he is like one of the few bosses that actually like return a lot. So he's like a big purple octopus, and you know he's actually like really annoying to fight. But once you learn that he's weak to fire, it's usually pretty easy. So after, you know, so the octopus actually on the raft, he splits up. Wait, no, he makes Sabin. He throws Sabin off the raft. So Sabin is alone, and he's off the raft, and he's going down the river. And then, so Terra and Edgar separate with another man that actually went onto the raft with them, and his name is I forget his name. I don't remember, but he's like a decently useful party member, but you know you don't have him for long. So the game separates into two sections at this point. You have Edgar and Terra and the man, and then you have Sabin and then Locke, which, you know, they all got separated, intentionally or not.
Locke is the main character, right?
Terra is the main character. Locke is like the second most important character. Although me personally, I don't really like him. So.
Wait, aren't you playing as Locke?
Right now, yes. This is Locke.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, you know, like, so when you separate, you can choose between which you have to do first, but you have to do all three of them to progress. It's not like a choice into how the story ends or anything. You have to do all three. So the sections of the game are, so if you pick Sabin, he actually is going down a waterfall. Wait, no, it's not the waterfall. The waterfall is later in the game. When you pick Sabin, I think he washes up on a shore. I say that'd make the most sense for like what I can remember from this game. But yeah, he washes up onto a shore, right? And then a kid. No, the shore's later. The shore's later than that.
All right.
It's a town. Yeah. He finds a town, and
Alright.
in the town, he finds a ninja assassin. His name is like Shadow. His name is Shadow, right? And
that's awesome.
Shadow is he's a weird party member. So throughout different points of the game, you know, you will see him at certain times. He'll come back. He'll leave. He'll come back. But you know, at the end of the game, he will permanently be back. And
yeah. I see.
Yeah. So you know, Sabin and Shadow. Yeah. Sabin and Shadow, they go wander around, and then that's when Doma Castle comes into play. Doma Castle has Cyan. Yes, that is his name. It's just the color, Cyan. And you know, Cyan he's a samurai, and you know, Doma Castle is like a representation of samurai in this game. And Kefka is actually doing an assault on this castle. Yeah, he's doing an assault on the castle, and you know, he fails. He fails miserably. And so after that, Kefka actually poisons the river that goes into Doma Castle, and everyone in the castle dies from the poison except Cyan and like one other person. but the one other person doesn't really matter much to the story. There's just like a little guard, you know, for plot relevance, I guess. And so Cyan is absolutely pissed about this. You know, his wife is dead, his king is dead, his son is dead, and so he goes to find Kefka, which is in the... It's like... I don't think it's on the map, but it is around here. So there is a little... like, a little space, like, right around there. So Cyan actually clashes with Sabin and Shadow, and they form a team to help defeat the Empire, which is currently in that area. And, you know, after some like chasing Kefka runs away. And at that point, you have to go into the Phantom Forest. Phantom Forest is like one of my favorite sections in the game, because the Phantom Forest, like, you know, it starts out and it's basically a map, right? And so if you go into
Right.
if you go to the left, you might pop out the right. You go to the right, you might pop out the left. You know, it's one of those things. Although in all fairness, it's really not that complex at all once you figure out how it works. But in the Phantom Forest, you can see the Phantom Train, and you might know what the Phantom Train is. I've talked about it a little bit. I love the Phantom Train. It's like a ghost train, right? So the Phantom Train, it carries people into the afterlife. So all the dead go onto the Phantom Train, but they don't know that. So Sabin, Cyan, and Shadow, they all get onto the train, you know, like unknowingly. Although Cyan, he does have suspicions. Like he knows what the Phantom Train is, but he's not sure if this is it. But Sabin goes in anyway, and they all get on the train. But immediately after, they all realize they are being carried to the afterlife on this train. So, you know, they have to go through the train and explore it to, you know, figure out, you know, what is on it, you know, how to stop, mainly how to stop it. They want to stop it because they don't want to die. So, you know, once they get to the end of the game, you know, end of the train section, like, you have to input a certain order of levers, and I'm pretty sure it's like down, up, and then once you push the top of the train, like a button at the top of the train stops, supposedly. But at that point, the train actually talks to you and is mad that you're trying to stop it. So you fight.
It's a sentient train?
Yes, it's a sentient train. It's a Phantom Train. So you fight
Amazing.
the train. The fight is relatively easy, but it's actually pretty dependent on how lucky you are, because it has a team sweep attack that gives everyone a bunch of status ailments, which can be super annoying. Because some status ailments only like do a little bit of damage, some of them like nerf you a little bit, but some of them will actually remove your ability to attack and make people do things on their own and even attack each other. So it's a little like Pokemon, except completely randomized what happens. So at that point, once you defeat the train actually stops for you and lets you get off. But it has to make a stop first. So it has to deliver the passengers into the afterlife, and them not wanting to interfere with that process, they let it do it. But while the train is passing people into the afterlife, Cyan actually sees his wife and son get onto the train, which is obviously heart-wrenching for him. And, you know, after like a little bit of time, he gets over it, and, you know, he wants to revenge for the Empire. Just, you know, he really hates the Empire now at this point.
I see.
And then after that section ends, and then you have to do Locke or Terra's section. So Locke's section is actually pretty fun, because you end up in town and you're completely alone, and all of the enemies are way too powerful for you. You're super weak at this point in the game.
So what do you do?
So you have to actually go, this is like the only section of the game that does this. So you have to go talk to a merchant and steal his clothes, and then you can actually go through a house that only lets merchants go through. So you're into a different section of the town. At that point, you need to talk to a private, which will fight you, and then you have to steal the private's clothes. So you have military clothes now, and you can go through and all that. And after that, you actually go down into the bottom of a rich man's house, and you will find Celeste. Celeste is another character which you can name and a party member. And after you find Celeste, yeah. After you find Celeste,
Celeste Danganronpa. Celeste from Danganronpa. Okay, continue.
Okay. So after that, it's actually a relatively short section if you know what you're doing. Saman's is the longest by far. And, after that, you go through the house and you actually escape, and, you're out of the town with Celeste. And this actually starts like a weird romance between Locke and Celeste, which is I was not aware of the first time I named everyone after party members, which was kind of weird. But after that, their section is
awkward.
#awkward. And so Tara and Edgar and the man, they have to go back to Narsh. So, after all that, they go through the caves, and then they have to go back up to Narsh. And this is also a short section, but you have to go around the entire city because no one believes you. No one in Narsh believes that you're a part of the Returners. They just think you're evil and whatnot. So, once you find your way around, you get into the house, and then that section ends. It's also an incredibly short section, but like way shorter. So, at that point, Locke and Edgar and Tara and Devin and Cyan and no, I think Shadow actually leaves. Shadow actually goes on to do his own thing. So, after that, they all meet up in the house, and this is like a little bit into the game. So they all meet up at the house, and then they have to make an assault on Kefka, who is trying to get the Esper from way before. The Esper is up on top of the mountain. They all have to get it, but Kefka is trying to get it. Well, they're not trying to get it, they're trying to defend it. They're trying to defend it with everyone. All the party members have to defend it.
I see.
So, after that, you defend the Esper, and after you defend the Esper and, you defeat Kefka, Tara actually, the Esper activates something in her, and Tara actually turns into an Esper, like Dragon Install, and then she flies around the entire map until she eventually crashes down. Is lost. No one knows where she is. And at that point in the game, you have to find Tara, which is, this really weird person, because now everyone knows that she's turning into part Esper, which is weird and not normal at all. Espers in themselves.
Wait, what's an Esper?
An Esper is, I guess you can kind of say they're kind of I guess you could say they're kind of like Jodo stands, except you summon them with rocks and they're completely sentient and everyone can see them.
I see.
They're super, super pretty creatures. They're like Shiva and Infrit. Do you know who those are?
And what?
Shiva and Infrit.
What's that?
Espers. Hold on. Let me try to find them. Okay, so where Bannon? Oh, Bannon is the name of the man that went with them. I just remembered.
Raiden?
Raiden is I think that's an enemy. Wedge. Rotor. Where? Give me a second. Okay, so Terra, lock, Celeste, Edgar, and stay on Saturday again. I could have sworn there were Esper pictures in here. Oh, I guess there aren't. That sucks. Okay, so where was I? Right, they have to find Terra at this point in the game. So the party needs to actually somehow get behind. They actually use the I think they have to use Figaro Castle to get to the other side of the mountain. And, you know, once they're on the other side of the mountain, they do a bit of exploring. And so after a while, they find the town of Zozo. And Zozo is a town full of liars. It is completely full of liars.
Oh, is that Esper?
Yeah, this is Terra in the Esper form. So,
oh, I see.
Zozo is like absolutely just full of liars. And one of the fun, cool parts about Zozo is you have to figure out the time on a clock. Now, figuring out the time on a clock should be easy, right? You just ask someone the time, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but not here, because everyone is a liar. Everyone is going to give you the incorrect time. So, after you talk to everyone, by process of elimination, you can figure out what time it isn't. And by that, you can figure out what time it is. So, after all that, so, you know, you unlock the clock, and then you actually find a chainsaw. And the chainsaw is one of Edgar's best damaging tools, and you can use it throughout the entire game, and it'll still be good. But at the top of the tower in Zozo, you can actually find Terra on a bed and being watched by a man. But the man is actually an Esper, and the Esper's name is Rameau. And oh my god, he's so
and
cool.
oh,
And,
that's oh.
and after that, he turns himself into Magicite. And Magicite is a stone you can use to summon the Esper in a battle. And he gives you two others, not including himself. And just a bird doing whatever. Oh my.
Tarek.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah, where was I? So after that, they need to attack the Emperor's base, I think? I'm not sure. The first section of the game, a little hard to remember, like certain parts that aren't really relevant, but you know, they go into a opera house, and in the opera house,
oh, he looks so badass.
Yeah, he does. So the opera house, there is a woman in there that a man named what's his name? What is his name? His name is, where are you? Setzer Giviani.
Oh.
Now this
Oh,
guy,
he's pretty cool.
This guy has an airship, one of the few flying airships. There have only been like two, and his dream is to make the fastest one. But he is also like, so you know, basically like add the traits of Johnny to that. You know, he's a gambler, and you know, he loves women, and so he actually tries to steal away the lead singer of the opera at this point, but you know, the team members, they need the ship. So they actually disguise Celeste as the lead opera singer, and at this point in the game, you have to go through and try to remember the lyrics to the singing. I made
I see.
Oscar do that for me. And so, after he steals away Celeste,
Is he related to Edgar?
if he was related to Edgar, that would make him royal blood. I should have mentioned that Edgar is royal. He's a king, a prince.
Oh yeah. I don't know. He kind of reminds me of Edgar in some ways.
Yeah. So after they get the airship, they go to the Empire's main base, and in the main base, they actually in the base, they fly to the base, and then they don't fly to the base. They don't fly to the base. They go to the Cave of Espers. And once they go to the Cave of Espers, Kefka actually appears, and he messes everything up. Everything they were doing, he messes it up, and then the gate, this massive gate built by Espers to trap out humans, it opens, and all of the Espers from the Esper world fly out. They all chaotically fly out. Everyone from the Esper world. They're basically people. They're not insane. They're not feral. They are practically people. And so the door actually gets shut out by a bunch of boulders. Like a bunch of boulders. They all get shut out. So the door is blockaded. It's blockaded and it's messed up. And so all the Espers actually make an assault onto the Empire's main base. And at that point, the Empire asks, for peace and help with this, because the Espers are way too much for them to handle. And so the Empire, what did Floor post? Oh my, what the?
What did he post?
Never mind. So after that, the Empire tried to they tried to make peace with the Returners, and the Returners they actually come fly. What? Floor. What the?
What did he post?
Look at face accord.
Dude, face accord? Okay. Wait, it's called Phase On, not Phase On?
It's Phase On. It's always been Phase On.
What is this? What is it?
That's what I said!
It's a dog, Derek!
Oh, true.
It's a dog!
What
did you think it was?
I don't... My bad. I got the hickeys, the hickeys. Oh my God.
What did you say again? No, wait. Resuntai, Derek.
So, the Empire and the Returners make peace.
Yeah.
To help with the Espers. But,
You know what?
They lie. They lied. They absolutely lied. There's no peace. And
of course.
After that,
those rat bastards.
After that, they have to go and they have to go. Or they're trapping in a base. And once they help actually release them, you get way more Espers. And then after that, Celeste actually supposedly betrays the returners by knowing what they were doing. Wait, actually this was like... This is before the peace treaty, actually. This is before the peace treaty. This is before the peace treaty. Yeah, so after Celeste supposedly betrays them after they release the Espers, they go to make peace with the Empire, and then after that, they get to... I'm gonna skip a little bit over here. So, you know, after the Empire's lied to them, there's actually a massive section of the map that flies up into the air. Up into the air. Like, this is a massive flying continent, basically. And on the continent, there are a ton of monsters, and you actually meet Shadow up here. Shadow, again. And so, you know, after that, Kefka and Emperor Gestal, the leader of the Empire, they actually get into a fight. And so Kefka actually is a subordinate to Gestal. But Gestal, you know, he wants all the power to himself. And so there's statues on top of this continent, and they're all extremely powerful. And Kefka actually takes over the statues and uses that power to kill Gestal. And he becomes an all-powerful, basically a god, Kefka. But, you know, obviously he isn't actually one, he's just posing as one. And so after that, the continent actually blows up, and all of the party members, you know, they get swept up in the explosion. They all get sent all over the place. And Kefka, he actually uses his newfound, extremely powerful magic to destroy most of the map. Like, most of the map is set on fire. A lot of people die. A lot of towns are destroyed. Everything is messed up. Everything is twisted. So, 5 years after that, Celeste wakes up in a cabin on an island with an old man named Sid, which is basically been taking care of her the entire time she was unconscious. And during that time, Sid has been slowly dying. And, you know, after a few days, Sid actually dies in front of Celeste after they get, like, incredibly attached. Just because Sid is basically her father or grandpa figure. So Celeste hidden raft that was on the island to escape the island and, you know, get back onto the mainland. Obviously, because everything is destroyed. Absolutely everything. Annihilated. And
I see.
so Celeste has to find all the party members again. Everyone. So the first one you're most likely to find is Sabin, because he's closest to, like, where you spawn. Now, this is the second part of the game. The first part is World of Balance, but this is World of Ruin, 5 years after, and you can't go back to World of Balance. Absolutely no way you can go back to World of Balance any way, shape, or form. You are in the World of Ruin now. And
I see.
This is the part of the game now. If you miss something in World of Balance, you can't go back and get it. There's no way. You have to get it there. So in World of Ruin, everything is, like, annihilated. Everyone is scared of Kefka. Kefka can rain down, like, thunder and lightning on you if, you know, you disgrace him or he doesn't like you. That is, like, the type of power he has right now. He's extremely powerful, and he can just destroy you anytime he wants. And so after you find Sabin, he's actually holding up a house, and you have to go in there and save some kids that, you know, from the lightning that Kefka rained down on a town. And yeah, after that, you recruit Sabin, and after Sabin, you are most likely to find Terra, which is actually, you the main character, and she is at a orphanage taking care of a bunch of children whose parents died after Kefka's, his terror, his magic, all his threats. So all these children,
I see.
Terra is taken care of. And, first time you ask her, we have to fight Kefka. She actually doesn't want to. She has to stay with the kids. She has to stay with the kids and doesn't fight. But when you leave, you actually encounter a boss battle of a strong enemy that I think it has lightning magic, and Terra actually comes in to help you fight it and defeat it, but she still needs to stay with the kid. She isn't leaving. So after that,
Isn't Kefka the clown guy, jester?
Yeah, Kefka is the jester. And,
Oh yeah, he looks sick.
Yeah, he does. It's actually probably one of my favorite characters in the game, despite being an evil dick. But that's beside the point. And so, after that, you have to recruit different party members. And yeah, so after you're finding all the party members, you recruit. You get Lockback, you get Sabin, you get Terra, Edgar, just everyone. All the important members. There are plenty more party members than that, but those are the important ones. And so after all of that and all this exploring and stuff, they go up to Kefka's tower. Now, Kefka's tower is where Kefka is located. He is on the top. Well, not on the top. He is in the tower. And after scaling the tower, well, you don't scale it. You actually have to get Stretgo to give you his. Not Stretgo. The guy with the airship, Johnny. And so the air to get onto the tower, but it's not your old airship. It's a different airship because the old airship got destroyed, and they have to use a different one, which is actually, his dead partner's airship, which, she crashed it and she died, but he kept it in her gravesite. And then you all have to bring it out and use it at this point of the game. And there's another boss in here, which is actually a dead man on a ghost chariot with a lightning fire horse. And so you get the airship again. Now at this point of the game, you can actually, it's kind of like Breath of the Wild. You can go fight Ganon anytime you want. You can go fight Kefka anytime you want once you have the airship. It's like Breath of the Wild. But he is really strong, and you need more party members. So you have to get all the other party members to be able to defeat him. Now, me personally, I was able to sweep him with just one singular party member because Tofu's magic is really overpowered when I did a run with her. But that's beside the point. So you need you need a lot of power to take care of him. And so after a lot of grinding and a lot of finding members, getting different items, probably one of the strongest, maybe my top 3 or 2 strongest items in the game is, I would have to say, the Sliss Raid and the I forget what it's called, but it's an item that lets you cast magic twice in one turn. So, let's say in theory, you could heal the entire party, cast Re-Rise on you. Re-Rise is basically a spell that will bring you back to life if you are killed, but you will be at 1 health. So, as a precaution, you can set Re-Rise on yourself and then attack the enemy, and then just constantly switch back and forth between healing and attacking. And this basically, you can act out the actions of a full party with one member, which is super broken, and I actually don't think it should be in the game, but it is. So once you get all your party members up in there, you know, they have to fight like three big demons or gods. Well, not gods, just demons. There is a monster named Demon. There is a mechanical monster and a angel. Well, not an angel, just like angel creature thing. I don't know what it is. It looks cool though. So these are like three super powerful enemies. And once you defeat them all,
Right.
you have to like go through, and you find Kefka in like a tower. And there's this massive statue of like, it's called the Statue of Gods, and all of the gods are on this tower. They are all statues, and they all represent. So the first section is a massive beast with multiple heads. And so the beast, you have to defeat it, and you move on to the second section of the tower. And in the second, you actually see a lot of gluttonous men and lustful women, and just a lot of desirable things on this second half of the tower. And so the Tower of God, you take care of all of these people on this section of the Tower of Gods. So the final section, it has a man with a woman behind her praying. This is like a holy woman, and this is a holy woman behind him, and she heals and casts holy, which is a spell which is pretty unique effects actually to it, but that's beside the point. So after you defeat the woman and the man in the tower, on the top, that's the top of the Statue of Gods, you actually see Kefka for the first time in like his real, genuine, supposedly godlike form. You go up into that area and you fight him, and this is actually a very difficult fight. There are a lot of team wipe moves and a lot of really cheesy attacks that they just reduce your health to 0. Like moves that reduce your health to 0, they do like 999 damage. Like all of this and that. And it's really, really rough. After enough tries, you should be able to get it done. And, I did it like first try, singular character, because I'm awesome. And
you are the strongest.
I am the strongest. So, after that, Kefka is defeated, and then he dies. Now, one of my favorite parts about the entire fight is the orchestra that is Dancing Mad. Now, Dancing Mad is a very long song that was orchestrated just for this fight. Now, the statues of gods and Kefka, they're all connected. It's all one fight. Oh, hold on, Ivy's texting me. I'm just on a walk right now. That's nice. Ivy is making me lose my train of thought. Why is she talking about emails?
Emails?
What emails? ...
Are you giving her your email?
I mean, I totally would, but that's beside the point. Anyway, dancing. Whew, got a little scared there for a second.
What happened?
She said they all won me, but she was talking about colleges.
Oh.
Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, Dancing Mad, Dancing Mad. I love Dancing Mad. Dancing Mad is like one of my favorite parts of this game. Like, awesome song, absolutely amazing, groundbreaking. Honestly,
It's Kefka's boss theme, right?
Yeah. I've listened to you. I've listened to it with you before. It's like super good, and so once you clear the first lower half of the tower, it has its own theme. And the first theme, it's very powerful and it's slow moving, and it's powerful, it's slow moving. You know, like, this is like a theme that makes you think, oh, this is real. This is a big fight. This is important. This is very important to the story, and it's a big fight. And the second section of the fight is, the multiple gods on the tower. And then the orchestra switches to something more fast-paced and more it's less serious, but it's still overall pretty unsettling. And it's really unsettling. So, when it's unsettling, it's like really fast, like dun 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 dun, and it's similar to that. But that's the part where, yeah, that's like that's the second section. And third section, it has a much more holy underlined tone, like a church organ. It's like a church organ. That's like the main tone of the third section of the fight. And after the third section, it's like it's something. It's like it's leading up to something. So third section of the fight, that part of the song's over, and so third section's over, and then Kefka's. You hear a deep orchestral movement, and at that point you are watching Kefka emerge from the clouds. You're all up in the clouds. Everything's shining a bright yellow, setting the stage with a strong orchestral movement. And ooh, I love this song. Kefka, the actually, I think it's about to start. I think Kefka's section is about to start. Hold on. This is the holy segment of the song. And here it is. Here it is. This is Kefka getting ready. This is him rising out of the clouds. Rising out of the clouds.
So cool!
Like, this is an ominous, something is going to happen. Stuff's gonna go down.
Oh yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
And then they hit you with this.
Damn! Oh yeah, this is the Dancing Mad.
This is Dancing Mad. This is Kefka's section of the song. Directly Kefka. This is a very, very, very serious song. The orchestra is ending with this.
Oh, this is badass.
Now, at one point in the song, you can actually hear Kefka's old theme pop up in here. So this entire...
Wait, he was in other games before?
No. This is his old theme pops up. Listen right here. Like right here. Right there. Da, 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 da. That was his old theme back when he wasn't a serious threat. So his old theme went dun 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 dun, and it pops up in here as it means It's a means to signify that he is not a real god. He is still Kefka. And this is what plays
A fake god.
after you beat him. Really beautiful movement over here.
True. Wait, isn't this 18 minutes long?
Yep, this is a really long song. It's all one song for one fight. It's absolutely beautiful. I would probably say
Amazing.
this has to be one of, if not the greatest, final boss song ever constructed for a video game. Every single movement
that is
has
true.
meaning. Every single movement has meaning. It's absolutely beautiful. Completely incredible. You know, starts moving there.
Okay, wasn't Kefka's laugh?
Yeah, that's his laugh. It's like. But I think that's more so because of how the game design is. It's all bit, like all the laughs. But this is Kefka's old theme.
Or just silly
Did you recognize that? Did you recognize that beat?
Yeah.
So that is what appears in, you know, his main section in Dancing Mad. It's ruining the song and it's signifying that this is still Kefka. Dun 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 dun. And so, you know, after you defeat Kefka, you know, the world it doesn't return to normal. The world is still ruined, but there's no more terror and everyone can rebuild. You know, nobody has to worry about Kefka anymore. That was one of the main concerns about it. Everyone was worrying about Kefka. Everyone was worrying he was going to smite them and destroy them. But Kefka is gone, and everyone can be happy at this point.
So doesn't he come back for like the other games?
No, those are mainly just references, and I don't think they're canon.
Oh,
But
I
this
see.
is Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI is set like way. It's way before a lot of things. Final Fantasy VI is old. Like in the timeline of Final Fantasy, it's back there. It's not like way back there, but it's pretty much back there. It's pretty back there.
Is it from the 90s?
This is Final Fantasy VI released in 1998, but in
Damn.
Final Fantasy, I
Yeah, I
would
think
say it's maybe, I don't know, it's maybe like 1400s, 1500s. I'm not sure. I don't know what timeline Final Fantasy is set on or all that. I don't know. But I do know
Wait, is
that
Final
this
Fantasy VI the only game, or the only Final Fantasy game you played?
I have played a little bit of Final Fantasy 1, which I did enjoy. It was a little rough. Now,
I see.
Final
The
Fantasy
only one
6
I ever
is,
played was 15.
yeah, Final Fantasy 6 is my favorite by far. Like, this is one of my favorite games ever. Like, hands down,
Yeah,
one
I
of my
can
favorite
tell.
games.
I
Yeah,
can
you
tell.
can tell. Do tell.
When you like explain everything perfectly, and with like actual love to the game.
Dude,
Yeah, you
I would
de-
like, I'm totally gonna buy this game for you because I love this game so much and I want other people to play it. It's so overshadowed by Final Fantasy VII for no reason. Because Final Fantasy VII was like the first 3D one, and everyone's sticking to that, but they're forgetting what's behind Final Fantasy VII are more amazing games, if not more amazing. I just...
Oh, it's like the what's going on, Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5 thing.
Yeah,
They forget
yeah,
about
yeah.
the old games.
Yeah, they forget about Persona 4, they're only talking about Persona 5 because, you know, it's massive, it's popular. Ah, I guess that concludes my rant.
You gotta clip this.
You already know it,
You gotta clip
man.
that entire rant.
You already know it.